Okay, morning, well, it's morning here, afternoon or evening, whatever you might be. Time for a video. Now, I haven't made one for a week or so, but I'm going to try and get some done now. I've got more time now that the academic year is nearly over at school. So this is a letter I was sent this morning by a nurse. We're going to take a look at it, and first things first, as you see, disclaimer, fair use teaching purposes, right? I'm not making any money out of this, so if anybody's got any complaints, you can contact me and I'll remove it, or maybe I won't. We'll see. But anyway, disclaimer done. Let's have a look. So we don't need that, we need this. Okay, so this is what we've got. What do we have? Well, first of all, we go to the task. So you are a charge nurse at the hospital. Mrs Goldstein was admitted, so it's a discharge letter. So Mrs Goldstein apparently lives at this care centre. She came to hospital, dislocated elbow, and she's being sent back from your care. So let's take a look. 60-year-old female with Alzheimer's. So, yep, she's at a care home. She had a fall, dislocated elbow, dementia progressing. Okay, so her husband lives presumably in a family home. She's full-time care. Obesity, Alzheimer's, what else have we got? Ready for discharge. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. We don't really need to say much now. What I was talking about on several other occasions is how to know what to include and how to know what to exclude. So the fall happened at the care home, so they presumably know the circumstances. Okay, so we don't need to mention that. We don't need to mention anything about dementia, blah, 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 because, you know, the people at the home will be aware of it. So it's purely what happened in hospital, and what's the sort of plan, what do you want them to do, etc. So this is pretty straightforwards. Wheelchair transfers, needs to wear briefs, blah, blah, blah. Well, the home would presumably know this because it's not happened in the hospital. Well, I wouldn't think so. Let's have a look. 10th of the 11th. What's the date on this? So she came in on the 8th. She's being discharged on the 12th. Ah, right. So she has been incontinent apparently in the hospital. So we need to mention that. That's kind of strange that would happen in the hospital, but okay, that's what the case notes say. Okay, so let's have a look at the letter. I'm going to save the changes. I've got the changes on, and I'll post this in the Telegram group. Prepare OET, for those of you who are Telegram users. You can come and join us if you wish. Okay, Mrs Goldstein was under care for the dislocated. Well, right, article use. Now, it's singular, and when you mention something for the first time, as I've said 1,000 billion trillion times, without any exaggeration, we need indefinite article. So, a dislocated right elbow will be discharged back to your facility. She requires ongoing care and support. Well, yeah, but we kind of know that because the facility is called the aged care home, so I believe they know that. They don't really need this. If you wanted to say what exactly you wanted them to do, which is always a good idea, what's it say? The spouse is collecting the patient. Okay, monitor. Yeah. Monitor the elbow, monitor incontinence. Okay, well, Do you mention that at the end? Ah, good, good. Okay, so at least that's there. So let's continue. As a matter of fact, first of all, let me just have a quick check, because this looks a little bit short. 138 words. Oh dear, that's far. Even if we include the closing, sorry, the opening, the salutation, and the closing, that's only 161 words. Oh, way too short, way too short. I mean, you know, it doesn't say here, or does it? Doesn't say here, but usually it says, you know, between 180 to 200 words. Now, that's a recommendation, but this is far too short for the task. Now, the criteria, I'll show you in a second. Where are we? Criteria, and you can see. Now, there's not a penalty automatically, but if it's obviously way too short, so let me just get this PDF open. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, yes, here we go. Hang on. Okay, okay. Maybe too long or too short. Far too long, far too short. I would have thought 130 words is far too short. You know, so 65432. Little bit short, a little bit short. You won't get a very good task fulfillment score if it's too short. Okay, so back to the task at hand. Mrs Goldstein was admitted with the above-mentioned diagnosis. The above-mentioned diagnosis, well, you can use that phrase, but it's hardly a diagnosis, is it? She fell over, apparently, dislocated her elbow. So, well, it's kind of a diagnosis, but it's not a mystery. Now, short sentence. Her right elbow was stabilized with a sling. I would join these two sentences up, because that's, you know, kind of short, incomplete. So I'm just going to mention diagnosis, following a fall at your institution, her treatment included right elbow, blah, 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 yeah? So, using these kind of introductory phrases, or gambits as they're sometimes called, that is going to help, one, increase the cohesion and coherence of a letter by linking, connecting, introducing the sentences and information. And it's also going to increase your word count as well. Instead of saying, she did this and this happened, she uses, you know, look, we've got a short sentence here. Okay, short sentence here. So what I would do is something like, you know, some phrase or gambit that connects, introduces, like, like I've mentioned before, regarding her social medical history, initially on her first visit to the clinic, blah, blah, blah. You know, some kind of a phrase that introduces things. Instead of just simply sentence, drop, her right elbow, drop, she uses a wheelchair, drop. Dropping these very short, simple sentences in does nothing for your coherence and cohesion. And you're supposed to use complex, by which they mean, you know, a couple of clauses, not just a single, you know, short sentence. That's not what the examiners are looking for. It's an English test, after all. And again, if you do this, you will increase your word count. Even if you think there's not a lot in the case notes for you to include. By connecting, linking, using phrases and gambits, you will expand your word count also. So, right, commensurate times a day. She uses wheelchair for the transport. Why is there an article? We don't need it. Transport in general. Also, it's a very short sentence. She uses a wheelchair for transport. I don't know if it mentions that in the care home. Does she use a wheelchair in the care home? I don't know. Doesn't say if she uses one in the care home. So presumably this is a new development. So in terms of like gambits and phrases, you can see like regarding her post-treatment condition, or regarding her current condition during hospitalization, or for your information, her hospitalization treatment included, etc. Yeah, so you could do something such as that. Then you could talk about this, wheelchair chair and such. But simply dropping in that sentence, she uses wheelchair. Well, first of all, we have to have an article because it's a singular wheelchair. We don't need a definite article because it's transport in general, so it's an abstract noun. However, as a discourse marker, means that there's some kind of a contrast within the sentence or between the previous sentence, but there isn't. So we wouldn't use it. Simply and. It's a list. Please note she requires a wheelchair for transportation or for ambulation, and as well as also she requires assistance, and also we need a pronoun. She requires assistance for showering and her incontinence. Yeah, so you could have joined these two sentences up and expanded them. Yeah. So, okay, it's pretty short. I'm sure you could put some more information in. In view of the above, which makes stable monitoring available in incontinence care would be beneficial. I'm sure it would. But you want them to monitor, so you should say, can you please ensure monitoring? Because simply saying it would be beneficial, well, there are many things which would be beneficial to somebody somewhere, but still, say it. Oh, sorry, that's my alarm. I've got a student coming in 10 minutes, so I'll have to be brief. So, I would have said, I would appreciate if you can monitor, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Please note she's been reluctant. She has been, or she currently. So why is it present perfect? Why is it past? Has been. So is she still reluctant, or she has been? If she's not happy about them now, I would use the present simple. Please note she is reluctant, and again you'd have to explain a little bit more. Now, I'll just say a couple more words. I was checking out a letter for my premium service a while ago before I looked at this one. And one thing that I saw, as I've said before on several occasions, you are producing a narrative. That's the idea. So the reason for writing, I want you to do blah, 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 please can you do, okay? Then you tell the story that leads up to you making such a request. You have to fill in the gaps, fill in the details. I want you to do this, and the reason why I want you to do this is because this situation, these circumstances, this happened, there was this visit, etc. So, this is pretty short. It needs to be filled out. Grammar's not bad. The English is not bad. Just articles, couple of articles, pronouns. She has been reluctant. I would admit that present simple because she still is, I think. So there's a physiotherapist on the 27th, on the 20th. So not bad. English is good. Some lapses, as I say, you need to fill it out. That's the main thing here. It's far too short. And I'm sure some more information that you could include, or if there's no additional information, you need to use these introductory phrases, gambits, to, also in terms of kind of layout, in terms of history, in terms of a first blah, 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 regarding her treatment, regarding her hospitalization routine, in view of the, you know, regarding her future needs or something such as that, yeah? And that would fill it out a little bit more. So that's a little bit short, but I hope it gives you some ideas. Okay, I'll see you next time.